Good day everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to a new review. For today I have a TV box that's a bit different from all the other TV boxes that you've seen here on the channel, and this one is called the Beelink SEA. So aside from being different, this one it's also more expensive. So this one costs around $110 and that's basically about $50 more expensive than all the other TV boxes on the market. So what do we get for that price? Well, first of all, we get the Realtek 1295 CPU. This is a quad-core CPU. We get 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, and the TV box it's running Android 6.0.1. So if you remember my review of the Zidoo X9S, those are the exact same specs that we used to have in that TV box. So aside from those specs, this TV box has the ability of having a hard drive inside, so you can remove the back right here, and there we have a SATA 3 connection, and you can actually install a hard drive inside this one, so that could be useful for some of you. Aside from that, you can actually record the stream from another device, so we have a HDMI in port right here, so you can connect another device to it and record whatever is happening on that device. Starting with a very quick unboxing, so the Beelink SEA comes in a black box. On the front we see some of the features of the device, and on one of the sides we actually see the specifications. Inside we are going to find the device itself. We are also going to find a very short HDMI cable, the power adapter. There is also a user manual that doesn't have that much information, and the remote control. However, the remote control it's not the greatest, and I do recommend using a wireless keyboard and mouse for a better experience. The device itself, it's made out of plastic entirely, and that doesn't give you that feeling that we used to get from the Zidoo X9S. So we get plastic on the back, plastic on the front, so pretty much plastic everywhere. On the front there is also a little LCD that shows you the time, and on top we see the Beelink brand. On the left hand side we have 2 USB ports, and one of those USB ports is actually USB 3, and we also have a slot for an SD card. And since we are talking about SD cards, yes, you can install an SD card as internal storage because we have Android 6.0.1 running on this device. As for the internal storage, out of that 16 gigs that we get to this device, we have about 11 left, and the speeds that I got for the internal storage are above average. Moving to the back of the device, so there we have the port for the power adapter. We also have the optical audio, the network adapter port, the HDMI in, the HDMI out, and as I mentioned before, we can actually remove that plastic door to install a hard drive. Unfortunately, I don't have any hard drives available at this time, so I wasn't able to actually test that function. As for the optical audio, I did try DTS sound and Dolby Digital sound for Kodi, and I'm very happy to say that it actually works very well. Performance-wise, the Realtek 1295 CPU, it's not the fastest CPU out there, so the scores that I got on the Antutu Benchmak, the Geekbench 4 and the Icestorm Extreme were lower than most TV boxes with Logic S912. However, I wasn't actually surprised because we got similar scores on the Zidoo X9S. For connectivity, we have Bluetooth and dual band Wi-Fi, and I have to say that I was pleasantly surprised by the scores that I got over a wired connection and over the 2.4 and the 5 GHz Wi-Fi networks. Since Miracast is also related to the Wi-Fi connectivity, I've tried Miracast on this device and it seems to work really well. Unfortunately, the Beelink SEA doesn't get root access from the factory, and based on the digital rights management information that we got, we won't be able to watch Netflix in HD. Now that you've seen how this looks and you have a better idea about its performance, I'm gonna start recording the screen. We'll try a couple of video files, I'll play a game or two, and this way you can have a better idea about its real-life performance and usability. First of all, this is the exact same launcher that we've seen for many Beelink TV boxes in the past. The only difference is the fact that we don't have the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. I also went to settings to look for it, but there is no way of actually bringing the navigation bar back up. The strange thing is the fact that we actually have a notification tab on top. So even though there is a notification tab, there is no navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. Something that you haven't seen before for any Beelink TV box, but you've seen for Zidoo devices in the past, it's the HDMI in here. So here you can see whatever other device you may have connected to your Beelink TV box. So right now I have my NVIDIA Shield connected to the Beelink TV box, so basically I can record anything that's happening on the NVIDIA Shield. So let's say I start a Netflix show, for example, or something like that, then I can just record that onto my Beelink TV box, and well, that's the case with pretty much anything. You don't have to have another TV box, you can just have some other device there, and then you can just record everything onto the Beelink TV box. You can also have the little window just like that on the screen at all times. So this is something that we haven't seen before, and I guess it could be useful for some. For the apps that we get pre-installed, we get Chrome, we get the HDMI in, we also have Miracast, we have the Play Store, Kodi, this is Kodi 16.1, however it has a different name, and we have this Kodi Mate right here, and this is an app that allows you to install add-ons on Kodi. It's fairly easy to use, you just have to look for whatever add-ons you may want and just install them onto Kodi, so it's very simple and straightforward to use. And aside from that, we have the YouTube app pre-installed as well. The settings app, it's also very different from anything that you've seen in the past, so we do have a lot more options in here that you can choose, so you can basically change a whole bunch of things in here. And if you remember the Zidoo X9S, this is the exact same settings app that we've seen for that one. So for example, here you can select the output, the sound output, and it really depends what your setup is at home, but if you want surround sound, you're gonna have to basically leave it like this. So definitely a lot of settings here, more than usual devices that we get here on the channel. Here at About Media box, this is the model number, so the Beelink SEA. And the Android version is Android 6.0.1. The latest security patch is coming from May 1st, 2016, so quite some time ago. And if I click on languages here, you're going to be able to see whatever languages are available, and I'm just going to scroll through them so you can see whatever language you may be interested in. On the YouTube app, the maximum resolution is 1080p, at least for my TV, because this TV only supports 1080p, but the video doesn't seem to go that smooth at 1080p. As I mentioned before, we get Kodi 16.1 pre-installed, and you cannot update this from the Google Play Store. So if we go to System and System Info here, we can see some information about these devices. You can probably tell we don't have that much RAM available, and since we can't really close the apps running in the background because there is no multitasking button, you're always going to be running out of RAM. This Kodi 16.1 that we get pre-installed doesn't actually come with any add-ons, but as I said before, you can install some add-ons from that Kodi Mate, and I believe that I installed a couple already, so I'm just gonna find the working one so you can see how Kodi performs. The funny thing is, out of those 5 or 6 add-ons that I installed with that Kodi Mate, none of them actually works, and I can't really find a working stream, so as you can probably tell, this one doesn't work either. So I'm just gonna try one more, and then we'll probably give up, because all those add-ons that we get, well, realistically none of them actually work, and you have to look for your own add-ons. So let's see if this one works, but I highly doubt it. So as you can probably tell, this one doesn't work either. So it looks that I may have gotten one that works, so finally one that works, and as you can probably tell, it did start right away, and it does seem to work pretty good. So those add-ons that you could install from that Kodi Mate, well, realistically none of them work, and they're all garbage. Since you already have Kodi open and I have my USB stick plugged in, we'll check out some files and see how these files do. So the first one, it's this one right here. We'll resume. I actually watched this earlier so I can figure out if DTS sound and Dolby Digital sound works. And this file works fairly good. So we'll stop this one and we'll move to another one. The next one, it's gonna be this one here. And this one also works without any issues, but I'm very curious to see how these 4K files will do. So the first one, it's a 4K file at 60 frames per second, and even though it works, it's not totally smooth, as you can probably tell. So so it kind of stops every now and then, so it's not totally smooth. The picture is nice and clear, but no good if the video it's not going smooth. So this one doesn't work that well. The next one, it's another 4K file at 50 frames per second. Let's keep towards the middle. And kind of the same with this one, it doesn't go totally smooth, as you can probably tell. Maybe, no, it's the same as the previous one. So not exactly the smoothest videos out there, at least for the 4K files. The next one, it's a 720p file, and I'm sure that this one will do fine. We'll skip to the middle here, and as I was expecting, this one it's doing okay. So we'll stop this one. We'll move to the next one, and this one it's the next one, and we'll go all the way to the end here. And this one also seems to do quite okay. So we'll stop this one as well and move to the following one. And let's skip to the middle here. And this one also seems to do really good as well. So we'll stop this one. We'll try another 4K file at probably 24 frames per second, if I remember correctly. This one was filmed with my phone quite some time ago. And I keep saying that I'm gonna get new files for this test, but I always forget. So this 4K file seems to do much better than the previous ones. So we'll stop this one and let's move to another one. I'm very curious to see if this one will actually work. I highly doubt it, but we might as well try. So nothing is happening, so this one doesn't exactly work. So moving down, we'll just open this one here, and this is gonna be the last one that we'll try. And this one seems to be working fine. Considering that this is the exact same CPU that they used in the Zidoo X9S, and all these files were actually working on that Zidoo X9S, this is not a hardware problem, this is a software problem. So they just need to improve the software basically and send some updates so they can fix all these issues. For gaming, I played GTA San Andreas, and as you can probably see, I've had the settings at maximum, and the game did go quite smooth. However, I did see this game smoother on other TV boxes in the past, and I'm gonna let you watch the game for a couple of minutes. And it's time to conclude this video. So this TV box, it's $40 cheaper than the Zidoo X9S, but $40 more expensive than any other TV box with Amlogic S912. So now if you need a TV box that can take a hard drive, this is probably a good choice. I'm imagining that eventually they will send some updates to make this better. But at this time it's quite slow, and well, it's not the greatest TV box that you could possibly buy. I mean, it could be good for some if you're looking for that HDMI in function. This is something that it would work nice for some people, but realistically not a lot of people are gonna use this function. So it really depends if you need all the features that this TV box offers. I'm imagining that at some point this TV box will become a nicer TV box, because with a couple of updates it will be better. But at this time, yeah, it's lacking quite a few things, and it's not the fastest out there. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.